Awesome. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our webinar. We're excited to have you all here and join us for our August product webinar. I hope everyone has had an amazing summer. It's pretty crazy to just think about that summer's over and fall's upcoming. Um, Before we begin, I'll let you know that we are recording this so we can provide you with a copy of it after the webinar is over. So, quick intro here. My name is EJ Mina. I'm the product manager here at ClickMate. I'm excited to walk you through some of the latest updates we've made to the platform, updates that are designed to make your maintenance operations even more effective and efficient. Very quick history on me. I've worked in the CMS and EAM tech space since 2016. I currently lead product development and feature planning here at ClickMate. And over my time in the industry, I've conducted on-site facility audits with customers across the globe, North America, Africa, all over the world. Really wonderful experiences. Also joining me today is my colleague Mel Motosh. She's ClickMate's product enablement manager. She'll be helping administer the webinar today. And some quick details about Mel. She's worked in the CMMS and asset management space for 10 plus years. She has led multiple teams to help create various learning methods of SaaS products, and she has trained thousands of maintenance technicians and facility leaders, helping them achieve their software goals. Our goal today is to show you how the new changes will deliver real value and help your team get more done with less friction. Today's webinar is all about keeping you in the loop on what's new with ClickMate. We're going to highlight key product updates that bring more speed, clarity, and control to your day-to-day. We'll start off with a few fun facts about ClickMate. If you're new here, we are a Canadian company. Our headquarters is in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Most of our team resides here, but we do have a few team members outside of Manitoba. Although we're a relatively new company, our leadership team has a lot of experience in this industry, having over a combined 40 years of experience working in the CMMS space. ClickMate offers a full feature CMMS that is web-based and mobile, meaning that our customers can access our software from any device that can be connected to the internet. For data hosting, we offer data hosting within Canada, as well as the US through AWS, Amazon Web Services. 46% of our customers are in manufacturing and food and beverage production. 25% of our customers are based in Canada. ClickMate is recognized for its ease of use, fast and simple implementation, and fast ROI and speed to value. We're extremely proud of the awards and accolades that we've picked up over the past year that acknowledge us for those things, our ease of use, fast ROI, and high value to our customers. So here's a quick rundown of what we're going to cover today. We're going to look at a few new major features. The first is floor plans, and the second one is vendor emails. And we'll talk about how both of them can help your maintenance operations. Then I'll highlight a few key enhancements that we've shipped recently. And after that, I'll give you a preview of what's coming next on our roadmap. And then at the end of the webinar, there'll be a very quick poll. And then we'll wrap up with a QA and information about how you can reach us with any other questions you might have. And I'm running into a little technical difficulty here. It looks like my screen is not going to the next slide. Apologies, everybody. There we go. Okay, great. Let's start with floor plans. So one of the most exciting updates this quarter is the launch of floor plans, which is a new way to visually manage assets and work orders in ClickMate. We can start with the problem. So the bigger the facility, the harder it gets to connect issues to the right place. Requesters, they might send in vague details, maybe even submitting requests in the wrong spot. And that results in technicians end up spending extra time hunting for, the exact asset or location where the work needs to be done. All that combined can add up to a lot of lost time that could be spent actually solving the problem. Our solution is floor plans, which helps to solve that. This feature will allow you to upload your facilities, floor plans, maps, and allow you to plot your assets locations and then see the work orders and requests directly on them. Technicians are going to be able to see at a glance exactly where the assets are in your entity and where exactly the work needs to be done. And it's easy for requesters as well too. They can simply go onto the map, find the pin that they need to submit the request for, and associate their issue in exactly the right spot. So hopefully no more confusion for your team and your users. Who is this feature for? So this feature is specifically useful for facility managers, maintenance leads, and technicians who work in large or more complex environments. The benefit to this feature, with floor plans, teams will be able to move faster and work smarter. Requests and work orders are crystal clear because they're tied to that specific location or asset on the map. Technicians will spend less time searching and more time fixing, and anyone in the building can submit a request instantly by clicking on the map, making the entire process seamless. So with all that said, let's get into the fun part, our interactive demo. I'll show you how it looks in action. All right, so I'm going to hop into my dashboard here. Okay. So floor plans module is always going to be visible in the left menu. So right underneath locations. If you're an admin or limited admin, you'll be able to manage your floor plans. What I mean by that is being able to create a floor plan, edit existing ones, or delete floor plans as needed. If you're a technician or a requester user, you'll be able to view the floor plans. You won't be able to administer or create them. We'll start off by creating a floor plan, very simple and easy. So you can create a floor plan for any of your entity's locations, and we'll look for the Add Floor Plan button in the top right corner. Clicking this is going to open up our new floor plan modal, and we have a couple fields that we need to add in. The first one would be the name of the floor plan. So I'm going to go ahead and make a floor plan for my West Wing first floor. And I'm also having an issue with my keyboard. So I'm going to use my other keyboard here and reach over West Wing first floor. Okay. And then we want to select the location that the floor plan is associated to. So I'm just scrolling down. I could use the search, but I'll just find it in the list here. And then I will select a file from my computer. There we are, floor plan sample. The accepted file types that we allow include JPEG, PNG, WebPG, and SVG. So you can see the preview here. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. And there's a confirmation at the bottom here that the floor plan was created successfully. From here, I can click on the detail, the name of the floor plan to open up the detail. If I need to make changes, I can click Edit and make changes as needed. I can delete it as needed. And I can also just see like when it was last updated. I can click the View Floor Plan button, which will take me to kind of the heart and soul of the feature. But this one we just created, I don't have a lot of details there. So I'm going to close this out. And what we'll do is just go to another floor plan that has things plotted and a lot more activity. So click View Floor Plan for my East Wing first floor. All right. So this is the floor plan viewer. So as you can see, we have the name of our floor plan in the top left here. And then I have a search field in the middle. This will help you locate things faster. Maybe you want to pinpoint where your ACs are. So quick filter there. I have a couple that are already plotted. On the right side, we have a quick action for submitting a work order. Note that if you're a requester, this button will say new request. And depending where you are, it'll map it to the location, and you can go ahead and just select the assets accordingly. We have a map floor plan button here as well. This is for anyone who's going to be plotting their assets and locations, but We'll get to that a little bit later after we finish seeing what's on this view here. We have navigation over here. So this cursor icon is selected by default. This is what you use to select your pins. You can see as I hover over, I can see like a name as well. If there's any activity on that asset or location, it'll give you like the count of work orders or the count of requests. This hand icon is for panning around. So extremely fluid, feels good on the fingers. We have zoom in, zoom out buttons. You can also just use your trackpad as well too to get more fine control. And then we also have a full screen button. So if you need more space on your screen, we can hit this and that'll collapse the left sidebar. So you have, I guess, maximum space on your screen to navigate the map. On the bottom left here, we have quick filters. This will help you quickly filter the map for specific assets, locations, work orders, or requests. So down here, if I click on assets, this will update the map to only show the red icons, which are assets. Likewise, if I click locations, so over here, this does the same thing. It'll filter just to the blue icons, which are the locations that I've plotted on the map. Work orders and requests are represented by green and purple. So in this view, you can see that my office has some open work orders and some open requests. Those are green and blue. If I were to switch to the filter for just seeing work orders, that looks like this. They're green dots with the wrench icon in the middle. And then if I switch over to requests, this is the purple icon with the request type of icon in the middle there. I'm going to switch over to assets now. And we're going to click on one of the pins here to open up a pin detail drawer to see some more information. So I have this AC unit in my office too. As I click this, it's going to open up a drawer on the right side. This pin details drawer contains details about what's going on with the pin. So this first tab will display a list of requests, a list of work orders, and also any PMs associated with that asset or location. For the requests, this would be any requests that are pending, any that are open, on hold and pending. And then for work orders, it's anything that is open, so nothing completed or nothing in review. And then PMs are just listed down below. And for any one of these, you can click on the name. This will open up either the request modal or the work order modal or the PM modal, and that'll allow you to take action right on the spot without having to navigate anywhere else. I'm going to close this modal, and then I'll show you the second tab in this drawer. So this is for details. This is so you can quickly pull up details about that asset or location, like information about it, and then history if applicable, as well as work orders. So overall, our goal here is to be able to have you use the floor plan view to get instant access of the work orders, the assets, and all the details you need without having to navigate in many different places across the application. I'm going to close this drawer. And before we move on to our mapping feature, I'll quickly show you just how it works if I'm going to view work orders or requests. So I'll click on, let's say, requests here. So you'll notice I have a bunch around in my entity. If you have one location or asset that has multiple requests open for it, so this one has 3, this is going to open the drawer to the right side so you can see all 3 of them. Again, you can click on each one and then take action accordingly. But if you just have one request open for that asset or location, let's close this. It's going to just open up the modal directly, so you don't have to open up the details. The details will be directly in front of you for the thing that you need to take care of. So that's the floor plan view. We're going to move on to how to map now. So I'll click this map floor plan button. This is a step that you'll obviously need to take before you can see any of your pins on the map, any of the work orders, requests, things like that. So the mapping functionality is limited to just admins and limited admins. This drawer on the left-hand side, this is the manage floor plan drawer. It's where you'll use to plot your locations and assets on the floor plan. We have a search field to just search the list below, but we do have a couple of views here. You can see any locations that haven't been plotted on the floor plan, anything that you have had plotted on the floor plan. And then this is just a list of everything together. If I want to plot a location, we can go over to my unplotted list. I can do one location at a time, or I can do multiple together. So let's select a couple. A couple ways that you can actually get your pins on the map. You can drag them over if you prefer. Or if you select them, you can click anywhere on the map. So I'm just going to click in this random spot here. And that's going to move the pins over there. And I don't think that ended up in the right spot. Let's try that again. All right, I'm gonna double check on what's happening there, but what was supposed to happen is that the locations will be there, and then I can drag them accordingly to their new spots. Apologies about that there. We're gonna take a look and see what happened there. We also have on-the-fly creation. So according to this map, I think I know what happened here. Let me just quickly exit. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. I had a filter enabled there. I'm just going to show that again. So if I wanted to just click here, the pin is there. And then all the other ones that I had actually clicked, they're there. So just taking a step back, we can drag them accordingly to where they need to go on the map. So I'm just dragging these to where they belong. All right. On the fly creation, as I mentioned, I have a couple spots on the floor plan that I haven't created locations for. So a couple of these conference rooms here, I would like to plot those. So in this left drawer, there's a button here that allows you to create a location on the fly. So if I click this, we have the new location modal. I won't jump into this modal in great detail. Our purpose here is just to get the location in and put it on the map. So let's create a couple conference rooms. Again, my keyboard is not working, so I'll click save. So that's one. Let's create a couple more. C2. And let's just do 3 of them, C3. All right, so I'm going to select all of these. All right, I'm going to just click over here. So I've got my 3 location pins. I'll just move this over to a better spot. Okay, so I've got my 3 locations created. Now I want to actually put some stuff inside those locations. So we do have on-the-fly creation for assets as well. So I'm gonna just do something simple like fire extinguishers. So just call this fire extinguisher 1. And I want to specifically say it's part of these rooms. So C1. So fire extinguisher, that's part of the C1 room. And then we'll create 2 more. This will be in C2. Okay, and this is for C3. Great. So I've created 3 assets on the fly. My 3 locations are on the map as well too for the conference rooms. I could select each of these and drag them over, but we do have a great feature for quick plotting. That's this icon over here. So how this works is if I have any assets that haven't been plotted on the map, but they are associated to a location, as soon as I click this button, ClickMate will just take those assets and put them in the right spot that they need to be. So if you kind of keep your eyes over here, conference rooms, you'll see this is going to take the fire extinguishers and put them in the right spot. So I will click the button. There we go. So what it does is just takes the asset pin and then it just kind of puts it relatively close to the location pin. And then you can move it around to maybe a better spot that it should be in. So maybe these are right by the doorway. All right. Just another important note here. So you're probably seeing these toast messages at the bottom. Anytime that you're doing any work on the floor plans, all of these things get auto-saved, so you don't have to worry about losing any progress if you're spending a couple hours putting stuff on the map or so. You can always just come back to it later. It'll be there because things are auto-saving. I'm going to click exit mapping mode and we'll wrap up the mapping portion of this demo. Okay, let's see what is next on our list here. So that was actually, yeah, that was it for the floor plan demo. We went through creating, viewing, and mapping. We have another feature to get to today, so let's just talk about how we can get this feature into the hands of our attendees today. So we'll be rolling this feature out in closed beta very soon. So this is going to be available for any customers or prospects to join. We're going to be putting up a little poll at the end of the webinar where you can just respond to if you're interested in using this feature. If you're unable to hang out until the very end, you can contact us at support@clickmate.com and just let us know if you want to test this out in your company as well. The purpose of the closed beta is so that we can get feedback from our customers, our prospects about what works well before we release it to everybody. So this is a good opportunity for us to get your thoughts and really improve the product that we're very excited about. Okay, moving on to the next feature. This is vendor emails. So this is another improvement that we released in the past quarter. It's a new way for you to keep up with your external vendors and tell them what's going on in your ClickMate dashboard. So oftentimes vendors don't get timely updates on new work orders or changes. This can lead to things like missed messages, delayed responses, kind of unnecessary back and forth between yourself and the vendors that you work with. So the feature that we've introduced is when you assign a vendor to a work order, if they're a primary contact, they can receive email notifications that correspond to the work order. So we'll send them an email when the work order is created. They'll get all key details on the name of it, the description, when it's due, and then they can also get status updates. So vendors will get notified if you change the status of the work order, if it becomes overdue, or if you've even added a comment. Who is this feature for? This feature is for anyone that works with vendors or contractors, especially if you're having like issues with communication that might result in things like delays. Benefit of this is that you don't have to like chase vendors down or do any extra work like drafting up separate emails. With this automatic email feature, the communication will be consistent, and then you'll be connected to the work order with the vendor as well too. They'll be able to stay in the loop, and then your team will be able to stay focused more on the work that needs to be done. So let me show you how this looks in action. All right, I'm going to jump over here. So to get started, we're going to create a vendor first. So if you're a limited admin or admin, over in the left menu, look for the vendors module. And we'll click the add vendor button in the top right corner. And from here, let's go ahead and name our vendor. So we'll type in Jones. Just keep everything capitals here. HVAC service. Okay, and then we will add contact information. So I'll click add contact, and then let's give this person a name. So Jack Jones. And say this person is the owner. And then, of course, we need an email because we need to be able to send emails to the vendor. So I'll just type in mine, get that going. Say HVACJ at clickmate.com. And additionally, we want to make sure that we enable the primary contact. The system sends emails to the primary contact of the vendor. We'll hit submit to save this. And then down below, we want to make sure that we've enabled assign to work orders so that when we create the work order, we can select the vendor there. And then some other shortcuts that can help you find the vendor. We have category here, and then we have assets. So if I have, let's say this AC unit, and I know that anytime I have an issue with it, it's Jones HVAC service. When I get to the point of creating the work order, it'll be a lot easier for me to go find the vendor and have that vendor assigned to the work order. So those are the details to add. Again, key thing would be email, primary contact, and then I'll hit save. All right, so my vendor has been created, and I will now go to the work orders module. And let's go ahead and submit a work order for the AC unit that's been giving us some issues. So I'll click the add work order button and let's give it a title. AC is freezing. I'm not very good at typing, everybody. Apologies. And so say AC stops after a certain point. All right, I'm gonna say this is high because it's very warm in my office. We'll put this under HVAC. And I want this due, let's say, by the end of the week. Quick note here. So our emailing feature is currently only available for reactive work orders. It doesn't work for preemptive work orders. So just make sure you have that selected. And then next up, we need to select our vendor. So, oh, I didn't pick my asset. So let's pick the asset first, AC unit. There we are. And then we'll select the vendor. So here I have actually two vendors that I work with for this specific AC unit. We want the Jones HVAC service. And as soon as I select the vendor name, you can see that there's two toggles that appear underneath. So the first one is email the vendor primary contact when the work order is created. What that means is that we're just going to send an email to the vendor as soon as the work order is created. So yes, we want to do that. And then the next one is share updates and comments with the vendor. So we want to select this to also send emails to the vendor when the work order has its status updated or has comments added. Just a key note you can see on the tooltip here, it says to not include any internal or sensitive information in the comments, as these will also be shared with the vendor. You can turn that off later. I can show you what that looks like after we create the work order, but just a key detail in case you need to keep some information separate from the vendor. There are a lot of other fields in here, but just for today, we won't try and fill out the form entirely. Let's click save. Awesome. So that created the work order. Here it is. And because we're going to do this real time, I'm just going to hop into my email inbox now and show you what those emails look like. So this is my inbox. There we are. So this is what it looks like as the vendor who's receiving the email. So in the subject here, it'll give you the name of your company. So my company is just called EJ Mina. It'll tell you which entity the work needs to be done in, and then as well just hey, there's a new work order. This is the ID, and it's been assigned to you. So it should be pretty clear to the vendor that the work has been assigned to them. Inside of the body, we have more details. So priority, this is high, a title, so they should know that, okay, this is freezing. Company, entity are there as well. The date that this was created, and then also the due date if you've added one. Down here, I see my description. And if you need to add other information like your entity address or other contact information, the description is where you would include them. All right. Now, so that's the work order created. Let's go ahead and just show you what updates look like. So if I were to put this on hold, that will trigger an email to our vendor. So we'll go back to our inbox. This one is pretty straightforward. So it's just very simple. Status on hold. And two other emails that we send as well. So first one is overdue. I'm going to see if I can just change this to be overdue in the next couple of minutes. So it's 10:32. Let's just put this to 10:33. 10:34 just to be safe. And today we'll make that overdue. Okay, while we wait for that, I'm just going to add a comment here. So if I want to say like you'll be working with Terry. And now if I go back to my inbox here, I should have an email that says a new comment has been added. So there we go. So it'll just tell you who made the comment, the time and date, and then the comment there. So you can instantly get your communication to your vendor very quickly right within the application. We should see another one in the next minute or so about it being overdue. Let's make sure that's set up properly. Did it send? Okay, there we go. So this is if it is overdue. Just kind of red text to tell the vendor that, you know, this work needed to be done before that time. So those are the emails that we send. Again, this is also available on mobile. I just, for time purposes, I won't demo what that is, what that looks like in mobile, but it's exactly the same form. I mentioned before, if you wanted to turn off any notifications, you can do that at any point. So just go back to the work order, and then you can just turn off the second toggle, and that will stop sharing any future updates or comments with the vendor who's assigned to it. We'll click save. All right, so that's vendor emails. So this is actually available for all users right now. So please give it a try. We have information in our help center. You can contact our support team if you have any questions. But we're always open to your feedback, and we want to hear about your experience with this and how we can make it better for you. So we have about 10 minutes left. I think I can finish up what we need to today. Next, we're going to run through some other enhancements that we've released over the past quarter. So this one is cloning PMs. I think this is a very popular feature that our users are currently using. So the idea here is that instead of manually entering each PM one by one, we have a new clone feature where you can select multiple assets or multiple locations and then create their PMs in just a few clicks. In this screenshot here, I have a monthly fire extinguisher inspection I need to do for all of my fire extinguishers, and you can imagine it'll probably take a while to create them one by one. With the new clone feature, all I have to do is just select all of them from the list, and then I can click the clone button, and we'll have a PM created for each of them. Another feature that we released this past quarter is exporting QR codes to SVG. So if you're familiar with our QR code labeling system, right now, or we had just previously supported printing PDF files. So you can have like paper labels, but we've come up with a feature if you need the actual SVG file, if you want to do something more kind of durable, more custom, if you're printing on like metal or plastic plates, you can take that SVG file and then you can set up your assets or locations to have like more durable QR code labels for, you know, maybe a harsher environment, wherever that might be. The button itself is exactly right beside the print button where you've normally would do printing QR codes. It's the export as SVG button. And the last one I'll call out today is just multi-language support. So we have users across the globe that use our app. The currently ClickMate supports English, French, Spanish, German, and Portuguese language. We recently updated the notifications in the mobile app to also be in supported language of the user. So now our mobile app is fully supported in the language that you prefer, just like web. This is just going to help with making sure communication gets through to all of your users and all of your team members, especially those that are using the mobile app. Okay, so those are things that we just recently released this quarter, but things that are upcoming, we have a lot coming up. So this is not just the entire list, but a few things that I want to highlight. Procedure enhancements. So last webinar, we actually presented procedures and we mentioned we are working on additional item types and features that you can expect soon. So just to kind of run through what those items are. E-signatures, you can sign any items that are procedure steps, image file uploads, and then also being able to leave comments on procedure items. This is so you can add, you know, more context or maybe have, you know, a discussion back and forth about maybe why this procedure inspection step needs to failed or passed. The ClickMate API. So a lot of questions about our external API. So we're going to be opening up ClickMate with an external API. This will give our customers the ability to both read and write data. You'll be able to connect ClickMate with your system, a third-party system, build your custom integration that fit your workflow, whether you're syncing data, if you're going to extend reporting, or just tie into any other third-party app that you use for your company. And another popular one that was requested by customers is backdating work orders. This one you can expect relatively soon as well too. So this is going to allow admins and limited admins the ability to backdate work orders. This will help you keep, you know, your data accurate in the event that someone, you know, entered the data late or maybe put in like the wrong completed date. So you can go in there and you can actually change it to have the actual completion date, not just when it was entered. All right. So I did a lot of talking there. And now is the part where we will answer some questions. So we're just going to get set up here. If you haven't yet put in any questions, we have a Q&A box, so feel free to add some in there. All right. So there's many, and we'll go through them. Um, is floor plans available in the requester portal? So floor plans won't be available in the requester portal to start. So we're beginning with any users that are logging in to the dashboard. So requesters who are able to log into the dashboard will be able to access the floor plans feature from there. Are you planning to make it easier to manage parts? Yes, certainly are. This is feedback that we've gotten in the previous webinar as well too. We're actually going to be starting that feature next quarter. It'll allow you to be able to reconcile your parts without needing a work order. We hope to have it done before the end of the year, and we'll circle back when we have it available for people to try out. Will floor plans be available in the mobile app? Floor plans won't be available in the mobile app. We're starting just with web because we want to get this feature out as fast as possible for people that really need it. If that's something that you're interested in, please let us know. And if it's something you need in mobile, I'd love to hear feedback from you on that. Trying to pick out questions here because there are a lot there. Do I need an account for each of my entities? You don't have to. So ClickMate is multiple entity. You can have multiple entities in one account. You can have multiple accounts for each entity. Probably recommend talk with your salesperson or your onboarding team to figure out how that would be best set up for you. When will e-signatures be done? So e-signatures, signatures, same terminology. So that's part of our second version of procedures. I'd expect it sometime before October of this year, either before the end of October or like before that. What file types can I use for floor plans? So we accept JPEG, PNG, WebP, and SVG. I'd have to double check on the file size, but we do a compression, so they do get converted. How will backdating work orders work? Okay, so the way that this works is that admins or limited admins will be able to go into the work order that's completed and edit it. So let's say that your technician forgets, to close out the work order on Friday. They did the work on Friday, but they come back on Monday to actually close it then. As a limited admin, you'll be able to go in there and just change it to the Friday date. That's more accurate. I'm just going to answer probably one more question here because we have another poll and we want to make sure we get people responded for the floor plans. How do the QR codes work? Okay, good question. So the QR codes that we have make it really easy and quick to get to your assets or locations or submit requests or work orders. We have different types of QR codes in ClickMate. We have a QR code that you can set up for a request portal. So you have a requester that just scans it, goes to the portal of your entity, and they can submit the work there. And then we also have QR codes for assets and locations. You can scan it, get details about the asset or location, and also submit work orders or requests for it as well too. We have a lot of questions, so thank you, Mel, for going through them as much as possible. For anybody who hasn't had their question answered, we have them all listed, so we will get back to you with the answer. I'm going to jump to the next slide here. This is the poll. So Mel, if we can put the poll up, we're asking a couple of questions here. Do you want to participate in the floor plans closed beta? Would you like to speak to a rep about adding users or sites? And then would you like to leave a G2 review and get a $35 gift card? So you should see the poll on screen. We'll let it go for another minute or so to make sure everyone's responded to. I think this is probably most questions I've seen ever in a webinar. Thanks everyone for asking them. I think I can leave that poll open there. We're just going to hop to the end here. So that brings us to the end. A few quick takeaways before we go. So if you're a current ClickMate client, please try out the new vendor email feature and any of the other enhancements that we've listed as well too. We will circle back with you about the floor plans closed beta once we're ready. At any point, if you have questions about the app, how to use it, or just want to chat with our team, we're here to help. You can use the chat icon in the bottom right of your app to connect with us. If you're new to ClickMate and you want a deeper look, we'll be happy to set up a personalized one-to-one demo with you. Just let your salesperson know. And we will be sending out the recording shortly, along with links to the Help Center, our latest feature release notes, so you can explore everything at your own pace. That was really fun today. I apologize for my keyboard not working for me today, and thanks for being patient. And we will see you next time. Have a great day, everybody.